Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Let's talk about the January 24th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, which is probably the best Saturday Night's Main Event we've seen in a very long time. Now, last Saturday Night's Main Event, of course, we saw John Cena retire, which makes that one special kind of no matter what, but that whole show wasn't very good, sort of until John Cena had his match, his farewell tour, he tapped out, and then sort of the buzz and commotion started because specifically of John Cena and the farewell match. But the whole show, the entire show, all four matches, well, three matches and a brawl on the January 24th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event was really good, probably the best in recent memory. The show kicks off really hot, which what I thought was going to be a match between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu turned into a massive brawl fight all around the arena because I guess in the view of WWE, neither men could afford a loss at this point because Cody Rhodes had just lost his WWE Undisputed Championship, and if he's going to get back into the title picture, which for me personally, I hope Cody Rhodes stays out of the title picture for a very long time, and the next thing that Cody Rhodes needs to do either goes into a deep feud with Jacob Fatu, which elevates Jacob Fatu into the title picture, or even better, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton feud up until WrestleMania, and they have a match at WrestleMania. Then maybe post-WrestleMania, heading into like a SummerSlam season, you can have Cody Rhodes re-enter the title picture. But I think the fans need a break of Cody Rhodes being in the title hunt, but I just don't think WWE sees it that way. So they think, okay, neither Jacob Fatu or Cody Rhodes can afford a loss right now. We really want Jacob Fatu to be elevated. I thought going into the show that Jacob Fatu was actually going to beat Cody Rhodes because I thought that would be better for Jacob Fatu and it really wouldn't diminish the star power of a Cody Rhodes, but WWE did not see it that way. They saw a brawl happening. It was a pretty good brawl. The best part of the brawl or the fight was when Drew McIntyre showed up and threw Jacob Fatu through a table, gave the Richard Holiday low blow to Cody Rhodes, and then powerbombed Cody Rhodes through more tables. That was the best part. And then the sort of the very short promo that Drew McIntyre had after that was perfect. That's what's going to happen to anyone that steps up to Drew McIntyre and tries to take the WWE Undisputed Championship away from him. So I thought that segment was really good, capped off by a really intense Drew McIntyre. And then you saw the reverse of that at the very end of the show when he sort of runs off scared from a winning Sami Zayn. So the match starts off with that, or the show starts off with that brawl, really good. Neither men could afford a loss, so that's what they did, elevate both men, because the rumor still is it's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. I'm not super into that. I am super into Jacob Fatu being in the world title picture and winning a world title, but I'm more into Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Championship. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes. The next match was the women's tag team match. This was excellent. Energetic, fast-paced, really good. Was very shocked when I saw Raquel Rodriguez trip Rhea Ripley onto the referee. Then that happened. That was a really good spot. Stephanie McMahon is now healthy. She returns. That's great. I see Raquel Rodriguez actually winning the WWE Women's World Title from Stephanie McMahon very soon. I think they're priming Raquel Rodriguez for that. Which I'm very excited about. I think Raquel Rodriguez has gotten so much better, and she deserves to be champion. And I think her beating Stephanie McMahon is a really, 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 really good idea. But Stephanie McMahon is back, so I don't know how long she's going to hold the title, a few more title defenses, and then I think she's going to give it up to Raquel Rodriguez. But that spot was whole good. The ending of the match almost had a little hiccup there when Roxanne hit the Pop Rocks. Rhea Ripley was supposed to save it. It was a little late, but still worked out. Beautiful timing. The match was great, energetic. All four women are fantastic. And Rhea Ripley and Io Sky retain. But what's interesting about the Women's Royal Rumble match is that most of the women that have entered the match are part of a team or a group. So when we enter this Women's Royal Rumble match, who is going to turn on one another? Who's going to help one another? Who's going to betray one another? Those are interesting questions to think about as you enter the Women's Royal Rumble match. But again, energetic, fast-paced, really good match. Then we move on to Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. They haven't wrestled in a very, very long time. Michael Cole mentioned it. Their first match was back in 2016 for New Japan, where AJ Styles wore a what is it? Thing on his face. What's it called? A mask. Jeez, almost a brain fart there. Wore a mask. So we wore a mask out there tonight, and you could see at the very beginning of the match that AJ Styles is like his brain is in a different place. So the match at the beginning was sort of a little wonky at the beginning. Even a little bit further, it wasn't my favorite sort of start to the match. I thought some things were a little convoluted, but you could tell that AJ Styles was thinking about Gunther, his whole career, what's going to happen, is he going to retire, all these types of stuff. And then the back half of the match was excellent. I mean, the strikes, the efficiency, the aggression, the selling, the holds, the knees, the counters, all this stuff was just absolutely fantastic, and that's what you can expect from two of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, and a match that literally got put on the card the night before, and so you can see how good these guys are to be able to put a story together in 24-hour period, because there was a story to that match. They have a long storied rivalry from New Japan to into WWE, and Shinsuke Nakamura is kind of worried about AJ Styles putting his whole career on the line, so he's challenging him to this match to see if he still has it, to see if he still can actually beat Gunther, and then AJ Styles is like, thinking about Gunther, his career, his life, his wife, all these types of things, and is he still in the right place of mind? Can he still actually get it done? And then they go out there and they have an absolute fantastic match. Again, the first part of it wasn't my favorite, but the back half really saved it for me, and it was amazing, and it was crisp, and I think it was way better than their WrestleMania match, which in most people's eyes was a huge disappointment. So I think this really saved it. But other than that, like, those two of the best in-ring performers that we're ever going to see in WWE. So, like, it is what it is. And so then we go into the main event: Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. All bona fide superstars. We know that Damian Priest and Randy Orton are former world champions. Randy Orton 14-time, Damian Priest 1-time. Trick Williams an up and coming newcomer, and Sami Zayn really wants to be world champion. Not sold on Trick Williams. I think he has good charisma. I think he has good energy. I don't love the Hollywood gimmick, but what he does in the ring is not super crisp. His strikes aren't great. Like his execution, his strikes, they're just not very crisp and sharp. I mean, look at someone like AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura or Randy Orton or even a CM Punk or a Cody Rhodes. Like, the strikes are crisp and sharp, and they look legit, and they can be repeated, and they can be sold easily. Trick Williams needs to work on that. Speaking of a good striker, one in that match specifically, Damian Priest is a really, really good striker. And so I think Trick Williams needs to work on that if he's going to be at the world champion level, which it seems that WWE wants him to be that way, because he didn't even take the pin. Damian Priest took the pin, so you can see how highly they think of Trick Williams, but he needs to get better in the ring, or we're going to have another case of Jey Uso, of being thrusted in the main event scene and not being able to handle the matches that come with that. You have to be able to go in the ring with the best in the world if you want to be in the main event scene. Jey Uso couldn't crack it, and I don't think at this very moment in time Trick Williams can either, but he can get better. Of course he can, and I hope he does. And then, of course, you have Randy Orton, who hopefully feuds with Cody Rhodes moving forward. I don't really know where you where you go with Damian Priest. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just like in matches. He puts together great matches. I know he's great to work with. I know him personally. Everyone loves him. He's awesome to work with. So maybe he just keeps having great matches. I don't see Damian Priest specifically ever making it to the top of the mountain again, but I hope I'm wrong, because I absolutely love Damian Priest. And then we know Sami Zayn won that Fatal 4-Way match, and then Drew McIntyre came out at the end. Sami Zayn runs him off, and Sami Zayn gets the hometown crowd pop. And Sami Zayn wins the Fatal 4-Way. And so then Sami Zayn now is the number one contender for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and he will face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, where he will lose. He will lose to Drew McIntyre, and then I think he will enter the Royal Rumble and potentially win that, so to give the fans a whole whirlwind of emotions. They love him in Saudi Arabia. They love him in Montreal. He loses to Drew McIntyre. They're sort of on a sour note. They see him come back later in the Royal Rumble, and he wins that. Now, that's a huge possibility. Jacob Fatu winning is a huge possibility. Braun Breaker, LA Knight, Sami Zayn, those four are like at the top of the list in terms of who is going to win the Royal Rumble. And then, of course, you have your very, very safe picks in terms of Gunther Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and AJ Styles. The other four not so safe. And so what direction is WWE going to go in, and where do they see WrestleMania? And I've talked about that a lot, and I will continue to talk about that more and more and more as we inch closer to Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, because we are in the best season of the year for a wrestling fan. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.